Here we go. Third time since they've been on the air for decades that we're welcoming a guest on the program. She's been here with us before. You've been hearing me talk about her all week on the radio and blogging at Facebook and YouTube, where you're going to be seeing this. And I hope you go to livelikeLou.org and make a generous donation. Neil Alexander, former police officer in Los Angeles, where he met his lovely bride. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a true romance. And, of course, their children, Abby and Patrick. But he, of course, in 2011, at the age of 46, got ALS, the fatal disease, and eventually it did take his life. But fearless to the end, he wanted to raise money for the ALS Research Center, Live Like Lou, at the University of Pittsburgh. $2.5 million, and then the university matched it. And this man from Johns Hopkins, he is Dr. Chris Donnelly, is here, a driving force to make the mission move forward. Let's talk about the early days and what you went through and how difficult it was, but how rewarding it has been to see things like the Research Center grow, right?
That's exactly right. We have had such a wonderful journey with Live Like Lou. We named Live Like Lou after Lou Gehrig because he inspired us to leave ALS better than we found it. And we were so thrilled on the 2-year anniversary of Neil's death just last month. We were able to say we've raised $1 million for patients and their families, and we've raised $2.5 million to start the Research Center at Pitt, which is where Chris Donnelly is now working. So,
all right, this is where I get to put on my medical hat, because I do that little show every Monday night with the Allegheny Health Network, a Highmark healthcare company, and Dr. Gerald Pfeiffer. So I've learned a little bit. And one of the things that amazes me about ALS, the connection between Alzheimer's, dementia, and Huntington. So is there a connection?
Yeah, a very strong connection, both genetically and then what happens in people's brains. When you see people who have died of the disease, they look very similar in some cases. So there's significant overlap.
And one of the big things in medical research of late has been the topic of concussions. And one of the things about Lou Gehrig, the great Yankee baseball player who played for Columbia and was an amazing baseball player, but those days they played without batting helmets and a lot of head-on collisions as far as sliding, getting beamed with baseballs. So some people have said that maybe concussions could possibly be the reason for ALS. A lot of things out there, but what's your thoughts about that, Doc?
I think that there is a link. I think it's still kind of controversial, but I will say that again, if you look at patients when they pass away, if you look at their brains, it looks very similar to what you see people with CTE, which is the concussion brain trauma. It looks very similar in ALS.
Either people standing behind or at her side, we are all here for her and her husband, her children, but more importantly, those families that are dealing with this dreaded disease, ALS. LiveLikeLou.org. Make your donation, because everything does make a difference. But tune in now to News Radio 1020 KDK for a special hour with Suzanne Alexander, Dr. Chris Donnelly, all about LiveLikeLou.org.